Have you ever found yourself poring over a children's book, even when you don't have young kids in the house? Well, that's exactly what happened to me, and I'm joined by the co-authors Chrissy Metz and Bradley Collins to talk about this exciting new project. Welcome to you both.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, of course. I'm excited. And if I can dig right in, because I don't know about you, I don't read a lot of children's books for fun. My kids are beyond this age. But what I found so interesting about this book is that I felt like you really empower young children. This isn't just a book of comfort, although it does that. But you go right in and you empower kids. There's lines like, did you know you can talk to God too? And pray God guides you in all that you do. So was that a message that you hoped to convey, or was that just a natural outpouring of the collaboration between you two?
It was definitely what we wanted and what we intended. Bradley and I, when we first started to get to know each other 3 years ago now, we realized that there was so much that we were sort of missing as children, and how we wanted to be loved and bolstered in confidence and self-esteem. And I taught preschool, and I would see that, literally throughout the days when I was teaching, and how important it was. And because that essentially helps children to walk through the world and obviously into their adulthood. And what better way to sort of have that foundation for young minds and hearts. And so that was definitely very important for us when we were writing the book.
For me, it takes me back to where when I was a kid, and my grandfather was very sick around the same age that this book is intended for, and I didn't know if I could pray or not to God. And this book answers that. Like, as a child, you can pray for your pets, you can pray for your friends, you can pray for your grandparents. It's all there, and God wants to hear you.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that, Bradley. The book is, when I talk to God, I talk about you. And I was wondering, how much of this did you write to maybe yourselves as a child, in terms of what you hoped that you could have heard either from a loved one or in a message as positive as this one?
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly right. We were discussing that entirely, like, as a concept and, of course, as a topic throughout the book, and that I think prayer gets really complex, and it can be very heady of an idea. And I feel that for me, prayer was always so important, that if you can pray anytime, any place, it doesn't have to be in church, it doesn't have to be in the morning or just at night, you could pray anywhere, and that God's there, omnipresent, and no matter what, your prayers will be heard. So that was something very important to us too when we were writing the book.
Yeah, and you all are multi-talented. I mean, Chrissy, you've got Golden Globe nominees, Emmy nominees. You're also an incredible singer. And what I love is that you all have an album that accompanies this song, and I am a little obsessed with it. I'm not afraid to fangirl about that. I was like, why am I so drawn to this music? And I think, Chrissy, correct me if I'm wrong, I've heard you quote your grandmother as saying, singing is like praying twice. Is that
Yeah.
true? And what a beautiful legacy to have.
I know. It's my favorite thing. And I mean, music at church were some of my favorite, memories, and one of my favorite things in life. And so when we were writing the book and we were trying to find an instrumental for the audiobook, we ended up deciding, like, oh, well, maybe we should just see if we should write some lullabies. And my manager said, oh, maybe just do like a title track for the book. And then we were luckily partnered up with Phil Barton, who is an incredible producer and songwriter, and has written many, many children's songs. And it just all sort of kind of fell out over a couple weeks during the winter break.
Yeah, it was very, very natural. It happened very, very quickly. So it felt like it was supposed to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, Bradley, you're a talented songwriter. You're a community advocate as well here for artists in Nashville. I think before I let you all go, can you just talk about how you were able to collaborate? Because like I said, the music, everything about this is so good, and I think so many people sometimes feel judged or criticized because they don't do anything well, or they like lots of different things. You two have really been able to, I think, take the best parts of who you are and what you do and put them together in this project. What encouragement would you have for other, not just artists, but others that are feeling like maybe what they have isn't good enough? Because speak to the kid and all of us adults that are watching right now before I let you go.
You're always going to question what you do. I think you have to figure out what is authentic to yourself, and if you're telling the truth and what your story is, then it's then that's what you need to be doing. You know, I worked in the music industry for a long time, and the songs that I had the most problems with were at least that I'd be submitted to me, were the ones I didn't feel were genuine. So who you are and writing songs that you feel represent who you are and what you feel is the best thing. Like the album is called Prayed for This Day, and it completes the thought to the book. It's the same artwork. Lisa Fields did all the drawing on the album, and it's just a way to read the book to your child at night and them off to sleep with the album.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you both for joining us. The book, When I Talk to God, I Talk About You, is available wherever books are sold. And also make sure you get the album Prayed for This Day on all of the digital platforms as well. Chrissy and Bradley, thank you so much for joining me on the Sami Cone Show.
Thank you, Sammy.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
You too.